thank everybody for coming to our annual installation of officers, and hope you enjoy it. We're gonna have a good meal afterwards and a little bit of music. I'll start off by introducing the installing officers. Installing Chaplain, Ben Haller, past master. Master of Ceremonies, Worshipful John Schuster, past master. And most worshipful Russ Chavonia, past grandmaster. We are an installing officer.
Thank you, Worshipful, but before you go running off, you fellows can sit down if you like. This isn't going to take that long.
I feel like a good setup.
No, I just want to congratulate you on a successful term leading Palmdale Lodge from the East. I've been keeping an eye on you, whether you realize it or not, but the fact that you've helped to pull this lodge together so well, the new members that you're bringing in, and so on, I just congratulate you on a job well done. So as you head back to the Indy room, I hope you take just a couple moments to bask in the knowledge of a job well done. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Brother Master of Ceremonies, are the officers of this lodge lately chosen present and ready to be installed in their respective offices?
They are without, most wishful sir, and await your pleasure.
Then you will conduct them to the seats prepared for them. In accordance with the teachings of our institution, it is our duty before entering upon any great or important undertaking to invoke the aid and blessing of God. Let us therefore reverently unite with our chaplain in an address to the throne of grace.
Great architect and ruler of the universe, we reverently invoke thy blessing at this time. Grant us thine aid in our present undertaking, that all we may do shall be done with an eye single to thy service and to the good of Freemasonry. May those who are now about to be invested with the government and conduct of these lodges be endued with wisdom to instruct their brethren in their duties, and may they be continually guided by the unerring counsel which thou hast given in the great book of nature and revelation. May brotherly love, relief, and truth always prevail among the members of each lodge. May they be impressed with the comprehension of their duty to thee and to each other, that each lodge may be the means of lasting good in their community, and to thee we shall ascribe all honor and glory. Amen.
So let it be. flag of our country will now be presented by Thomas Cappers, Master Counselor of Antelope Valley, Chapter of DLA International.
Please join me in saluting and pledging allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You will escort the flag to its proper place in the east.
Most wishful sir, the officers of this lodge lately chosen are present and in their respective states.
You will then present the brother who has been appointed junior steward of this lodge.
Most wishful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Richie, who has been appointed junior steward of this lodge.
Brother Ritchie, you have been appointed junior steward of this lodge, and I will now instruct you in your duties. In olden times, your province was to superintend and provide for the festivals of the craft, to assist in the collection of dues and subscriptions, to keep an account of the expenses for refreshments, and to see that the tables were properly supplied and every brother suitably provided for. In modern times, however, the provision for actual refreshment has diminished, and your principal function will now be to prepare candidates for admission and to perform those duties which Masonic custom has assigned to you on days of procession. Receive the jewel of your office together with the white rod. You will now repair to your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the senior and junior deacons.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Worshipful Brother Randall and Brother Schrader, who have been appointed senior and junior deacons of this lodge. This certificate vouches for the proficiency of the senior deacon.
Worshipful Randall and Brother Schrader, you have been appointed deacons of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewels of your office. Don't mess up the hair. Those jewels indicate that it is your province to attend upon the master and the wardens, and to act as their proxies in the active duties of this lodge. It will be your special duty, Brother Senior Deacon, to carry orders from the worshipful master in the east to the senior warden in the west, and elsewhere about the lodge as required. Attend to all alarms at the door of the preparation room, receive and conduct candidates, introduce and accommodate visiting brethren. You, Brother Junior Deacon, to carry messages from the senior warden in the west to the junior in the south, and elsewhere about the lodge as directed. Attend to all alarms at the door, and see the lodge duly tiled. Those rods, my brother, distinctive of your office, will now be entrusted to your care. And now, believing from your past deportment in the lodge that your duties will be discharged with ability and zeal, I dismiss you to your respective places. Ceremonies. We will present the chapel. Boy, that's a big smile.
Worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Worshipful Henry, who has been appointed chaplain.
Worshipful brother, that holy book which adorns our sacred altar is the great light in masonry, and forever sheds its benignant rays upon every lawful assemblage of free and accepted masons. Teach us from its life-giving precepts. Invoke upon our labors the blessing of that divine being, whose infinite goodness it so fully reveals and unfolds to us, and guide us by its lessons of wisdom and truth, and you will have faithfully fulfilled your important trust. It is your duty to perform those solemn services which we should constantly render to our great Creator, and reverently to a Lord of brighter worlds and lead the way. And thus by elevating our thoughts, strengthening our virtues, and and purifying our minds, prepare us for admission into the society of the blessed in the realms of life and light eternal. It is fitting that an emblem of the sacred volume should be the jewel of your office, and with it you will now be invested. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, we will present the secretary-elect.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation, worshipful Copper, who has been elected secretary of this lodge.
Worshipful Brother Coppers, you have been elected secretary of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. I am persuaded that in your hands the pens will make an enduring record, not only to your praise, but also to the welfare of this lodge. It is your duty to observe the will and pleasure of the worshipful Master, keep a faithful record of all things proper to be written, transmit a copy of the same to the Grand Lodge when required, receive all monies from the brethren, pay the same to the treasurer, and take his receipt therefore. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the treasurer-elect.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation, worshipful Brother Carmichael, who has been elected treasurer of this lodge.
Worshipful Brother Carmichael, you have been elected treasurer of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. The keys have a twofold significance. They are instruments to bind as well as to make loose, to make fast as well as to open. They will never, I am confident, be used by you in any other manner than that which the Constitution, laws, and regulations of the lodge shall direct. You are to receive all money from the secretary, keep a just and accurate account thereof, and pay the same out by order of the worshipful master with the consent of the lodge. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, we will present the junior warden-elect.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Whitfield, who's been elected junior warden of this lodge. This certificate vouches for his proficiency.
Brother Treasurer, would you be willing to audit this for me? Brother Whitfield, you have been elected junior warden of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your station. The plum, my brother, admonishes us to walk uprightly in our several stations, to hold the scales of justice in equal poise, to observe the just medium between intemperance and pleasure, and to make our passions and prejudices coincide with the line of our duty. To you is committed the superintendence of the craft during the hours of refreshment. It is necessary, therefore, that you should practice moderation and discretion in the indulgence of your own inclinations, and that you carefully observe that the means of refreshment are not converted to improper or excessive use. Your regular and punctual attendance is particularly requested, and I have no doubt that you will faithfully execute the duty which you owe to your present appointment. Look well to the south. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the senior warden-elect.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Walden, who has been elected senior warden of this lodge. I find him to be of good morals, true and trusting, and possesses the love and care of his brethren. This certificate vouches for his proficiency.
Brother Walden, you have been elected senior warden of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your station. The level, my brother, demonstrates demonstrates that we are all descended from the same stock, that we partake of the same nature and share the same hope, and that although distinctions among men are necessary to preserve subordination, yet no eminence of station should make us forget that we are brethren. For he who is placed on the lowest spoke of fortune's wheel may be entitled to our regard, because a time will come, and the wisest know not how soon, when all distinction, save that of goodness, shall cease, and death, the mighty leveler of human greatness, reduce us to the same state. Your regular attendance on our stated meetings is essential. In the absence of the master, you are to govern the lodge. In his presence, you are to assist him in the governance of it. I firmly rely on your knowledge of masonry and attachment to the lodge for the faithful discharge of duties of this important trust. Look well to the west. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for attending this ceremony. This concludes the ceremony. You want me to keep going, eh? Not past master yet. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you'll present the brother who has been elected to discharge the important duties of master of this lodge.
Most wishful sir, I take pleasure in presenting to you for installation Brother Arit, who has been duly elected as master of this lodge.
Is it known that Brother Arit is well skilled in our ancient craft? Is he zealous in his regard for the interests of our order? And is he duly qualified to discharge his special duties of the master's chair?
It is well known that he is all this, most worshipful sir. This certificate, vouching for his proficiency, is evidence that he is well skilled in our ancient craft. I find him to be of good morals, true and trusty, and as he is a lover of the fraternity, I doubt not that he will discharge his duties with fidelity and with honor.
Worshipful sir, the brethren of this lodge, reposing confidence in your integrity, in your zealous regard for the interests of masonry, and in your ability to discharge the duties of the master's chair, have chosen you to occupy that honorable position during the ensuing year. Are you willing to accept this important trust?
Yeah.
Then, my brother, I shall most cheerfully proceed to install you in the dignified and honorable position to which the suffrage of your brethren has called you, not doubting that the dignity of the Oriental chair will be well preserved in your keeping, and that the interest and welfare of this lodge may be safely confided to your charge. Before commencing your investiture, however, it is necessary that you should signify your assent to those ancient charges and regulations which point out the duties of the master of the lodge, and which, on no account, are ever to be neglected or departed from. They are as follows. You agree to be a good man and true, and strictly to obey the moral law. You agree to be a peaceable citizen, and cheerfully to conform to the laws of the country in which you reside. You promise not to be concerned in plots and conspiracies against government, but patiently to submit to the decision of the Supreme Legislature. You agree to pay a proper respect to the civil magistrate, to work diligently, live creditably, and act honorably by all men. You agree to hold in veneration the original rulers and patrons of the Order of Masonry, and their regular successors, supreme and subordinate, according to their stations, and to submit to the awards and resolutions of your brethren, when convened, in every case consistent with the constitutions of the order. You agree to avoid private piques and quarrels, and to guard against intemperance and excess. You agree to be cautious in carriage and behavior, courteous to your brethren, and faithful to your lodge. You promise to respect genuine brethren, and to discountenance impostors and all dissenters from the original plan of Masonry. You agree to promote the general good of society, to cultivate the social virtues, and to propagate the knowledge of the art. You promise to pay homage to the Grand Master for the time being, and to his officers when duly installed, and strictly to conform to every edict of the Grand Lodge or General Assembly of Masons that is not subversive to the principles and groundwork of Masonry. You admit that it is not in the power of any man or body of men to make innovations in the body of Masonry. You promise a regular attendance on the committees and communications of the Grand Lodge on receiving proper notice, and to pay attention to the duties of Masonry on convenient occasions. You admit that no new lodge should be formed without permission of the Grand Lodge, and that no countenance should be given to any irregular lodge or to any person clandestinely initiated therein, being contrary to the ancient charges of the order. You admit that no person can be regularly made a Mason in, or admitted a member of any regular lodge without previous notice, and due inquiry into his character. You agree that no visitors shall be received into your lodge without due examination and producing proper vouchers of their having been initiated in a regular lodge. These are among the ancient charges and regulations of free and accepted Masons, and to these your assent must be freely given. Do you submit to these charges and promise to support these regulations as masters have done in all ages before you?
I do.
Then, my brother, in consequence of this assurance, and with full confidence of your capacity and zeal, I will now install you Master of Palmdale Lodge, number 769. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will invest him with the jewel of his station. The square, my brother, is an emblem of morality, and as it is the especial badge of the Master's office, it should constantly remind you, not only by precept, but by example, that you should promote good morals among the brethren, and thus endeavor to avert the shadow of any scandal or reproach against the fraternity. Your former life has given evidence that this jewel will not be an unmeaning symbol in your hands, and I solemnly charge you to take good care that its luster not be dimmed through any act of yours. I now present to you the Book of Holy Writings. It is the great light in Masonry, and should ever be the great law of the Brotherhood. It will guide you to all truth, and will direct you to eternal happiness, and in attentive regard to the divine precepts it contains, will ensure you success in the fulfillment of the duties you are now about to assume. The working tools of the craft will next be presented to you, that as the master workman you may instruct the craftsmen in the various duties and virtues which they have been selected to illustrate. The square teaches us to regulate our every action, and to let our conduct be governed by the principles of morality, compass teaches us to limit our desires in every station and never to suffer our passions or our prejudices become the masters of our judgment. The rule directs the undeviating discharge of all our duties, that we should press forward in the straight path of right and truth, without inclining to the one hand or the other, in all our doings having eternity in view. The plum is an emblem of moral rectitude. It teaches us to avoid all dissemination. Because that word wasn't sounding right in my head, I'm sorry. And to pursue that honest and upright course in life, which will tend to our elevation in the higher realms of immortality. Dissimulation was the word I was looking for. There are still other important things which you will receive in charge. This book of constitutions. You are expected diligently to search, and from time to time cause its contents to be read in your lodge, that none may remain ignorant of the precepts it enjoins, or the ordinances which it promulgates. This book contains the bylaws of your lodge, which it will be your special duty to see carefully and punctually execute. And this is the charter, under the authority of which your lodge is held, and which you are to carefully preserve and duly transmit to your successor in the master's chair. For the master of ceremonies, he will conduct the worshipful master to his station of ease. Congratulate you on your ascension to this time-honored seat. The duties incumbent upon you in your exalted station are fraught with grave responsibilities. Remember that the honor, reputation, and usefulness of your lodge will materially depend upon the skill and assiduity with which you manage its concerns, and that the happiness of its members will generally be promoted in proportion to the watchful eye with which you cherish the genuine principles of our institution. For a pattern of imitation, consider that great luminary of nature, which rising in the east regularly diffuses light and luster to all within its circle. In like manner, it is your province to spread and communicate light and instruction to the brethren of your lodge. Forcibly impress upon them the dignity and high importance of masonry, and seriously admonish them never to disgrace it. Charge them to practice out of the lodge those duties which they have been taught in it, and by amiable, discreet, and virtuous conduct to convince mankind of the goodness of this institution, so that when a person is said to be a member of it, the world may know that he is one to whom the burdened heart may pour out its sorrows, one to whom distress may prefer its soothe, one whose hand is guided by justice, and whose heart is expanded by benevolence. In short, by a diligent observance of the bylaws of your lodge, the constitutions of masonry, and above all the holy scriptures which are given as the rule and guide of your faith, you will be enabled to acquit yourself with the highest honors here, and to lay up a crown of rejoicing, which shall continue when time shall be no more. Brother Senior and Junior Wardens, you are too well acquainted with the principles of Masonry to warrant any distrust that you will be found wanting in the discharge of your respective duties. Suffice it to say that what you have seen in others praiseworthy, you should carefully imitate, and what in them may appear defective, you should yourselves avoid. You should be examples of discretion and propriety, for it is only by a due regard for our laws and regulations, as shown by your conduct, that you can expect obedience to them from others. You are assiduously to assist the Master in the discharge of his trust, diffusing light and imparting knowledge to all whom he shall place under your care. In the absence of the Master, you will succeed to higher duties. Your requirements must therefore be such as will to ensure proper instruction to the craft. From the spirit which you have hitherto evinced, I entertain no doubt that your future conduct will be such as will merit the applause of your brethren and the testimony of a good conscience. This is for the brethren of Palmdale Lodge number 769. Please rise. Brethren, such is the nature of our Constitution, that as some must of necessity rule and teach, so must others, of course, learn to submit and obey. Humility in both is an essential duty. The officers who have been chosen to govern your lodge are sufficiently conversant with the rules of propriety and the laws of the institution to avoid exceeding the power with which they have been entrusted. And you are of too generous disposition to envy their preferment. I therefore trust that you will have but one aim, to please one another and unite in the grand design of promoting happiness. Finally, my brother, as this association has been formed and perfected in so much unanimity and concord, so may it long continue. May you long enjoy every satisfaction and delight which friendship can afford. Kindness and brotherly affection distinguish your conduct as men and as Masons. Within your peaceful walls, may your children's children celebrate with joy and gratitude the annual recurrence of this auspicious solemnity. And may the tenets of our profession be transmitted through this lodge, pure and unimpaired from generation to generation. Merciful now, Master, it now remains for me to present to you this galley, the emblem of power. In the hands of the Master, it may be made an instrument of great power or of greater evil. With it, the Master governs his lodge, and the welfare and prosperity of your lodge, in great measure, depends upon its judicious use. In your hands, I am confident it will be wielded for the best interests of your brethren. I'll take it back anyway. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will now make proclamation.
In the name of the most merciful Grand Lodge of pre-accepted Masons of the state of California, I proclaim the officers of Palmdale Lodge number 769 to be duly installed.
All the brethren will, under the direction of our Master of Ceremonies, salute the worshipful Master by the battery of 3 times 3.
Together, brethren.
Worshipful Master, behold your brethren. Brethren, behold your worshipful master.
I would like to request all the past masters. I would like to request all the past masters of Palmdale Lodge 769 to please rise.
That's Master's right.
I would like to introduce them. I would like to read their names, and some of you did sign up here, so I may as well have you introduce yourself. We have Paul Cappers, past master 2018. Mir Gaucher, 1985. Paul Macy, 1972. Glenn Aston Howler, 2017. Worshipful Jim Carmichael. What year?
9 and 10 and 15 and 16.
Worshipful Jen Schuster. Year 2000. Worshipful Wayne Randall.
12 and 13?
Probably.
I go check it.
Worshipful Frank Dalton. What year, sir?
1978.
And our newest class master? Worshipful Henry Weaver. I would like to thank the Supreme Architect of the universe for bringing us here today, and thank the ones that have enabled me to appear this morning. At the very top of the list would be my beautiful wife, Loma. She has been my source of support and inspiration through the years. I also would like to express my heartwarming gratitude towards Most Worshipful Brass Shervonia for his exceptional presentation of installing the officers of his lodge. To Worshipful Jen Schuster, our Master of Ceremonies. And to Worshipful Glenn Howard, our installing chaplain. I wish to thank the officers and brethren who have reposed their trust and confidence in me by electing me Worshipful Master of this lodge for the ensuing Masonic year 2020. Working together in peace and harmony, brethren, we will make great progress towards achieving our universal aim of enlightenment fraternal affection and charity. I am humbled to stand before you today and to have the honor and privilege to serve as master of our lives. For the year 2020, over the last several weeks, I sometimes wondered what brought me here to this point in my life. And after much thought and introspect, I realized that I was following my own moral compass of my inner thoughts, achievements, and goals. You see, my bag is just like yours. It is my blessings, my accomplishment, and my goals. Inside, I found the supreme architect of the universe who has guided my life by his own will and pleasure. And then I found my wife Loma, who has been my source of inspiration, encouragement, and determination through the years. Along with my wife, there is also my beautiful daughter, Melanie, who have also been my source of inspiration and determination to be the best father and man that I can be. Without my wife and daughter, my life would not be nearly as colorful as it is today. Inside my bag, I also found worshipful Wayne Randall, who was the master of our lodge back in 2015 when I affiliated with this lodge. He showed me what real brotherly love, relief, and truth is. Then there was worshipful John Schuster and worshipful Glenn Howard, who has been a steady force in the lodge as far back as I can remember. If there was only one thing that I could say about John and Glenn, is that they are always steady, even-tempered, are always thoughtful, and only wants what is the best for the lives. To these men, I extend my gratitude and thanks for their continuous guidance and support and mentoring. I also found worshipful Paul Coppers, worshipful Henry River, and worshipful Jim Michael. And I would like to thank them for their support, their guidance, and good counsel, and words of wisdom over the last year. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Lucetta Coppers and their team for setting up our reception. We would all be hungry without your help. My accomplishment in life have all been molded partially by a mixture all of the people who have touched my life. Today, I am the best man that I can be, and I strive to give back to those who have inspired me, and as well as to pay forward to the next generations. My goals for our lodge are to strengthen the core of lodge officers. Our officers have developed a bond that I have had the pleasure of watching grow over the last year. These men all want to see the lodge continue to place itself in the community and to build upon what our predecessors have laid out for us. What we have in store to enable us to build a stronger core that will lead us to the future is that we will have several officers retreat, to strengthen the bond that has grown this year, we will place a priority on the Grand Lodge leadership courses, which will provide us the necessary tools and skills to enable our officers to lead the Lodge into the future. We will continue to encourage our newly obligated masters, Mason, to co-chair several events to provide them the skills and opportunity to allow them to pass it to our future generation. Our presence in the community will again be enhanced with our public school and constitutional observance events, and we will again reward several school-aged children with a token of our appreciation. These two events alone provide our Lodge with a solid presence in the community by inviting the school-aged children to participate, but also to meet with the parents and the school and community leaders as well. We have many social events on our calendar, and we will also share events with the Eastern Star and our youth groups to build the better relationship between our groups. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank all of you with all my heart for coming here today in this installation. It means so much to me and the Lodge officers. Your presence and support are greatly appreciated. At this point, I would like to introduce you the officers of our Lodge, and if they have any significant they would like to introduce, they would introduce them at this time. Brother David Ritchie, our junior steward.
My wife, Brenda.
Don Schrader, our junior deacon.
I have nobody to introduce other than I'd like to thank everybody for coming and stick around. We're going to have some great music from what I hear.
Thank you, sir. Our senior deacon, Worshipful Wayne Randall.
Thank you, Worshipful. My daughter, Vitreska. My other daughter, Brianna. And my associate matron, Lee Stanford.
Our chaplain, Worshipful Henry Beaver.
Just like to say congratulations to all the officers, especially to you, Paul. You earned it, and I'm sure your brother's smiling down there.
Thank you. Our secretary, Worshipful Paul Cutters.
Let's see. I have set up, was out in the kitchen cooking and getting everything prepared for our repast. Got my little baby boy, Mr. Thomas Toppers.
Thank you. Our treasurer, Worshipful Jean Cormichael.
Thank you, Worshipful. And I'd like to introduce my wonderful wife, Sharon Cormichael.
Our junior deacon, Brother Jeffrey Whitfield.
I'm a deacon now? demoted already.
I don't mind, we're full, I'll go to deacon.
No.
Got demoted.
Stick to the topic.
I just like to thank, Coppers and the Rainbow Girls for setting up a nice arrangement in the dining area there and handling all the food. He's strong, Bob.
Our senior warden, brother Robert Walden.
We're here.
And last but not the least, I would like to introduce my wife, Miss Stan, Loma Lau Arit. And my daughter, Melanie Arit. We would like to recognize the recipient for the Golden Veteran Award, Merle Boucher. Merle Boucher. And very worshipful Hal Mason. Next would be the past elected Grand Officer, very worshipful Hal Mason. We would also like to introduce our Grand Lodge Inspector, Worshipful Jan Schuster of the 701st Masonic District. Other past masters who are here. Worshipful Glenn Haller, Old West. Hiram Award recipients. May you please stand. Thank you so much for coming, and we appreciate your service to the fraternity. Last but not the least, I would like to introduce our past Grand Master of the state of California, most worshipful Rosarvonia. We go now to our presentation. I would like to present this past Master Apron to Worshipful Henry Weaver. Are there any other presentations?
I have one.
pleasure presenting to you this gift in commemoration of your coming year of service. May your gavel always strike true.
Are there any other presentations?
Worshipful Master, I have a presentation. As the inspector, it can kind of be a little daunting task, and there's a lot of responsibilities that go along with it. And I'm here to tell you that it's impossible to do this job without the support, assistance, and leadership of those who I have selected to be my representatives in the lodge, our officers coach. And it's my extreme pleasure to announce once again that I am reappointing the incredibly worshipful James Cormichael as the officers coach for the next year, and to present him with his card of appointment. Thank you very, very much. I couldn't do this without you.
Is there any other presentation?
Worshipful Master, may I approach please?
Please do. Thank you so much. He's a man.
My brothers and all, for all those who don't know me, I was once raised here, this land, in 1994. It's my first time back here, and it's good to be here. I know only one person, which is Brother Secretary Don Holloman. I'm not sure if he's here or not. Okay, that's the only person that I knew back here. The person that raised me was Worshipful Brother Philip Arit. I'm not even sure if he's here. Nobody's here. So I'm glad to be here, and I'm wishing my fellow countryman, Bob Arit, as a worshipful master of Islam.
Thank you, Worshipful. Before Worshipful Glenn Scholar give his final blessing, I would like to request the installing officers and the officers to remain for picture taking. At this time, I will turn the event over to Worshipful Glenn Scholar for the final blessing. Yes.
Now that we are about to separate and return to our separate places of abode, wilt thou be pleased so to influence our hearts and minds that we may each one of us practice out of the lodge those great and moral duties which are inculcated in it, and with reverence study and obey the law thou hast given us. Amen.
So would it be.
I would like to request the officers to retreat with me to pick up our next significant of our life. Thank you.
Everybody else can get in the dining room?
Yeah.
Everybody else, charge the dining room. Feel free to head into the dining room if you like.